Hi, welcome back to Making It with Minglet. Today we're on page 97 of our 100-day challenge, and we are going to use the quote, "To avoid conflict, to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself." That's kind of deep. I, I've heard it before, and I totally agree. You try to be the peacemaker, and before you know it, the peacemaker is just exhausted. So I get it. I get that quote. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this on a 2-page spread. We're going to put this over out of the way for right now, and let's give it a little scoot over. I've got this piece that's got blue, and then it's got some stitching on it. I kind of want to give this a little bit more, so we're going to put some of this jagged paper down. And it's thin like tissue. It was like, this is what, when our bumper we took our bumpers off the 57 Chevy. We took those to Tennessee to be re-chromed. And when we got there, we told the man, we'll just come back and pick them up. Well, come to find out, if we picked them up, we had to pay Tennessee taxes. If we did not pick them up and let them ship them, the shipping would be less than the taxes would have been. So they shipped it, and this was the stuff that they had on it. And I've used it a couple of times. It's just interesting. It's got a fun texture. It's kind of like a cardboard. It's got ripples, and I just like it. It adds to that grungy feel. So we're going to add that. And this is going to need a little bit more glue, I think. I want it to go all the way down to the bottom. And then I'm going to cut that because I want it to overlap on that blue just slightly. There's no real reason for why I do it the way I do, but I'm looking for a certain result in the end. And I think doing it this way is going to get that for me. And you'll notice I use the bottom end of my glue to push things down a lot of times, because that keeps me from getting it all over my fingers, because it does make your fingers dry, especially if you already have dry skin. Now, I was going through, I've been doing some cleaning up here, and I found where I had made like some clusters and some things like that, and I thought that this one might work well here. I do think I want to put a little color on that, and since I do have some inks now that I picked up out thrifting. This one says it's worn lipstick, and I don't know what it's going to look like when we put it on, but we're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. And I'm going to go ahead and do the back too, just so if it lifts up, it's covered. I'm going to put that all the way up to the top of the page. And I figured out how to store I kept trying different containers, and I couldn't find one that worked. And I have had a box on my desk that was, I think, when my husband was working, I had ordered soups, like a dozen soups, those microwave Campbell soups, and that box just fit on the right-hand side of my desk, and I would use it kind of like a catch-all, unfortunately. The more containers you have, the more things that you'll fill. Note to self, I don't need more containers, I just need to be more organized with my stuff, ultimately. That's over too far. Let's back it off just a little bit. But anyway, I moved that box, and I put rubber bands on the colors, kind of grouping them together by what type of color it was, like the reds. I've got all those reds, oranges together. So I can just pull out that group, that whole entire group of colors. And doing that made my desk seem quite a bit bigger, actually. When I get through cleaning, I'm going to give y'all a tour. I'm proud of myself. I've really been working hard and trying to just make my space better. And I think I'm going to use that on this side too. This little bow. And this is that scrap that I keep using. The gift that keeps on giving. The sheep that has probably walked 100 miles and then some. It's no telling how old it was or how long it had been used. Judging from the label that came off of it, it was probably from the 50s, early 50s. And I don't know how long it was in service. I just know that it was worn out. Which makes it kind of fun. Okay, now we're going to switch to the other side. And I've got my quote. I also have this weird picture. It's of a woman. She's got her hands across her chest. It looks like she was laying on a table nude. But for some reason, the colors seem to blend with what I have here. So I kind of want to incorporate this. And I did put the bow across her parts that didn't need to be seen. But I just think it kind of made me think, okay, you know, if she wasn't laying there naked, she could be at peace. Or maybe she's at peace being naked. I don't know. No judgment here. I just thought the picture kind of, you know, just made me think of a peaceful existence. You know, not allowing yourself to be part of turmoil or chaos. And this was out of the photograph book. Now, I think I'm going to cut this out, and we're going to, actually, before I do that, do I want to, let's try, before I do that, let me try getting some color, a little bit of color on it. We're going to try the fire brick. We're going to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's going to work out nice. I'm so excited about getting all these stamp pads. I only had like 3, maybe 4, because I had other stamp pads and I just couldn't justify spending a lot of money. So when I come home with them and told my husband what a deal I had gotten, he was like, "Oh, okay." So I was pretty excited about that. He don't say too much about what I spend, but we've got a big trip coming up in August. We're going to go to Utah for my daughter's graduation from nursing school. they had the virtual ceremony this weekend, and we watched it. But it was kind of for the people who weren't going to come for the walk. And she's worked too hard not to walk, so we are making it a family vacation. So staying within our budget is really important right now. Because by the time we fly everybody out, rent a car, hotels and all that stuff, it's going to be a little bit expensive. And we're proud of her. We're very proud of her. She's continuing to work in her job that she's had for now, but that will change. She's trying to get into a program where they will take her under their wing and train her for a specific department. So when that happens, she'll be switching jobs. But until then, she's in the float pool, and she goes goes wherever they need her most of the time. She will know, ahead of time where she's going the next day. But sometimes they have what they call a ninja, and the ninja goes wherever they need to go at the last minute. So sometimes she's the ninja, and sometimes she's just scheduled. But she's getting to learn about a lot of different specialties. She goes to cardiologist office, neurology. She does oncology. So it's actually been, a very nice experience for her. All right, now we'll see how we're going to lay these out to avoid conflict. To keep the peace. And I don't know that I'm going to put this in a straight line, because I think that makes it more obvious if you don't get it straight. To avoid conflict. And I don't know about where you're at, but it is so humid in North Carolina right now. We got rain, and then it warmed up yesterday. The sun came out, and it's like a sauna. As soon as you walk out the door, it's like you're roasting. Not a good thing. Alright, I'm going to put these down. The ones at the top, I'm happy with their placement. And I don't need to sit and think about it all day. Right? But it's hot in my craft room today. Very, very warm. Alright. There we go. I think I like that. All right, I have that, and then I have this string that I thought I might could use. Do I wanna? Yeah, I think I'm gonna put it down right here. And there again, this is going to be one of those things where I just pat it down, and then I can lay my waxy paper over it, and there it's set. So here we have page 97. To avoid conflict, to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. And we used a decorative page over to the left and used up some things that we had on hand, from our scrappy paper to our little cluster with the dragonfly on it. And then we have a woman who is just got her hands crossed across her chest, and I thought, well, that looks pretty peaceful. So that will be our page 97. Until next time, be well, my friends, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Didn't realize the glare was making you not see that. So there you have it.